everybody, welcome back to Behind the Brand JA. This is the fourth time I'm filming this. The first time the mic wasn't on, the mic is on now. The second time, the mic was still not on. I thought I checked it, but it still wasn't on. The third time, we had a second person in the episode. It was a piece of bugle. For the whole episode, a bugle was hanging right. It was inside, but you could still see it when I was talking, right? This is lucky number 4. Before we start, please remember to like, comment, share, subscribe. I want so many people to see this channel, Behind the Brand JA. It's such an amazing platform and I want as many people as possible to see it. Okay, now, this isn't my usual content. This is like a filler episode. You ever watch Bleach, Naruto, Dragon Ball Z, and them just have an episode that just don't make no sense, and the last episode left you on a cliffhanger? Well, yes, this is a filler episode. Except I'm not going to do you like Dragon Ball Z and make Goku and Frieza fight for 20 episodes. This is just going to be one episode and it's going to be really fun. I'm going to be answering questions about Behind the Brand JA. I got 30 questions, but I'm going to focus on 10. So let's get started. Okay, so I have my book here. So if you see me looking like this or down, I am reading the question. So episode 1. Question 1, how did the idea of Behind the Brand come about? If you know, then you know, I still have a TikTok called Married to Marketing. And on there, I would talk about snacks, commercials, funny commercials, musical artists, and the marketing aspect of things. When I started doing that and people started engaging with my content, I started thinking bigger and the idea just came to me. I had another name for it, but when I was talking to my brother Marcus, he suggested 2 names and Behind the Brand was in there, and I was like, that's it, that's the name. Actually, that's a lie. I spoke to my husband about it and he was like, I prefer Behind the Brand. So I agreed with him and I did some Googling because you have to Google to make sure it exists or it don't exist. So I saw that it existed, which I thought because Behind the Brand is such a powerful name, it must exist in the universe, right? So I said, Behind the Brand 876, Behind the Brand JA, yeah. And that was it. And that's how it came into creation. The good thing about doing something over and over and over is you're warmed up. So now the 4th time I must get it right, right? Right. Who is Brand Safi? When this person asked this question, I started feeling like a nervous feeling. I'm like, who is Brand Safi? My brand identity is pretty straightforward in a way, but also vague. So let me try and explain. So I'm a creative, but I'm also business-minded. And that's why I love marketing so much, because it involves creativity, business, and also something that I really love again, which is the human behavior or sociology, psychology. I love those things. So marketing to me is a perfect combination of those things. Brand Safi is marketing based. I'm a marketing consultant. I'm also a social media marketer and the executive producer and creator of Behind the Brand JA. So I do a lot of things. I think what's unique about me is that I don't want to just showcase myself. I don't want success just for me. I want success for people all around me, all around Jamaica. That's something that I really wish to happen. And that's why I came up with Behind the Brand JA, because life is hard, right? The economy is right? So I want to give people the opportunity to promote themselves, promote their brand, whether it's themselves or it's a good or a service. Philanthropy is going to be a big aspect of my brand because I really want to help people who are less fortunate, especially those who have mental challenges. That's a big passion of mine. Before I go any further, I'd like to say thank you to all those who gave me these great questions so last minute, because I asked last night and today is Friday and tomorrow I'm posting this video. So thank you so much for the questions. Question number 3. How does it feel to be the bridge connecting people to these brands? So when I got this question, I was like, I'm a bridge? Okay. Black bridge? Which bridge? But I didn't realize I was a bridge until I got that question, and it made me feel so good. It made me feel so grateful that someone would describe me that way. And it feels great. It feels humbling. It feels amazing to help others, empower others to feel confident, to come in front of the camera and answer questions about their brands. I'm proud of the fact that I make people feel comfortable even if we're strangers. And I didn't know I had that skill about me. I didn't know I had that strength about me. Make them feel like they can be themselves in front of the camera, and that makes me feel so happy and so good, and I feel so good. Yes, I'm a bridge. Question number 4. I have to read this one because it's pretty long. Can you discuss some of the key milestones or moments that have shaped the evolution of Behind the Brand JA? So one milestone for me is my husband Darren, hi Darren, advocating for me to interview Johan Blake. Long story short, they were in the same track club and he approached him and just started talking about me and Behind the Brand JA and how, I want to showcase brands, and Johan Blake has a new water brand that he's promoting. So he just asked, can my wife interview you? And he said yes. Sometimes to get opportunities, you just have to ask, because the worst thing they can do is say no. That's the worst thing they can do. And the no don't even have to be a permanent no. They can say no today and then next week them say yes, because they see the value in what you're doing. So don't stop asking for opportunities, even if it makes you uncomfortable. Because my husband is not an extrovert. So for him to do that for me, he saw the value in what I'm doing, and I greatly appreciated that. So that was one milestone. The milestone moments for me is every time I interview someone and I see their personality shining through. I see their confidence come in. I see their pride in their brand. Those moments always make me feel so good. When I'm editing and I just see the light just shining from in them, it just makes me feel so happy and so grateful to be able to do this. Question number 5. What are your workflow essentials? All right, my workflow essentials are very simple. This book is where I write all of my dreams, all of my goals. Every time I'm editing, I write down the clips that I have, the clips that I need, which order I want them to be in, the music that I'm going to use, what kind of vibe I'm trying to give, So this book is super important to me for my workflow. Secondly, I need a comfortable chair to edit. I know that sounds silly, but I need a comfortable chair to edit, because you're sitting down for so long. You cannot start having your back hurting you and your shoulder hurting you, and you can't have that. So a comfortable chair is essential. Thirdly, I need time away from the computer to walk, to run up and down, to exercise. That is so important, because it's such a sedentary state that you're in editing. You're not moving, and that's not good for your body. Even if you eat well, it's good to be active. So I always take a break from editing and go outside and walk, run, skip, hop, do anything. You have to remain active to stay healthy. I think those are all my workflow essentials. I need a comfortable chair, my book, and time away from the computer. Question number 6. What is your biggest challenge so far? What wasn't my biggest challenge? I faced many challenges during this season of life and this season of Behind the Brand JA. Number 1, sometimes people weren't very open to being interviewed. Sometimes it was hurtful when they rejected doing the interview, not because of they don't want to do it, they don't have to do it. The reasoning behind it. Someone said to me that, if I'm the first person, I don't want to do it. I have to decline. And I was like, Okay, thank you for your consideration. And I kept it moving. The person was number 6 in on the list, but the fact that they didn't want to do it if they were the first person was very eye-opening to me, and I didn't want to deal with a person like that. Moving forward, that was a learning moment that not everyone is going to want to do an interview, and that's okay. And maybe in the future they'll want to, but if someone give me bad vibes like that, I don't want to work with them, none at all. So it go. Number 7, how do you overcome difficulties experienced with your brand management or your personal life? So, no man is an island, right? I truly believe that. So I believe that how I deal with difficult situations, because I have a fair share of them, is I lean on my support. I lean on my support system, right? My support system is my husband. Sometimes my daughter, I'll get a little hug from her, and that just makes me feel better. My mom, my dad, my siblings, okay? They talk to me, my friends. So those things are super important. If you have someone you can talk to, whether it is a counselor, if it's not your family, a friend, a mentor, those things are so important during difficult times, because one thing in life that is inevitable is suffering, right? Difficulties. But if you can come together and get through it together, that's just amazing. Remember, when they're feeling low, you'll be their support. So always remember that you can seek support from others. That's definitely what I do, because I cannot do this alone, okay? I cannot. Okay, question number 8. I had so many questions, it was so hard to choose. So don't feel no way if I never choose a question that you said, okay? All right, so how do you balance showcasing diverse voices and perspectives within Behind the Brand JA? I thought that was a great question, Within my interviews, I always ask a specific category of questions, even if the questions are different. So there's always a common theme running through each episode. My editing style now, Behind the Brand JA, has a very particular style because of how I edit. And that is very intentional and very purposeful. That's how I connect each episode, having a common theme and editing in a very consistent fashion. Second to last question. Yeah. Okay. Cringe. All right. Second to last question. Who are some dream guests that you'd love to have? And in brackets, they wrote dream big. All right. So my biggest dream is the one and only Bounty Killer. I would love to interview him. I find him so fascinating. The fact that he can balance being like this edgy, his lyrics are always very edgy, right? Very tough, very masculine. And then on the other end, he has this comedic side to him that you usually see on stage when he's performing. I want to ask him questions. I want to so bad. So if anyone can get me in touch with Bounty Killer, please and thanks. Thank you very much. All right, next, I'd love to interview Ding Dong. I love him as a marketing phenomenon. He's everywhere. Corporate events, concerts, commercials, everywhere. So I want to really dive deep into that brand that he has. Nextly, I would love Nextly. Is Nextly a word? That don't sound like a word. Next. Next, I would want to interview Miss Kitty. I love her brand. I love how she's built her reputation. I love how confident she is in her brand messaging. I want to talk to her. I want to ask you some questions, Miss Kitty, honestly. And one other person, these are big names, as the person said, dream big. I would love to interview Sean Paul, because I think he's the most well-packaged dancehall artist ever. He can be in Europe, he can be in Africa, he can be in Australia, and you know who Sean Paul is. So I would love to interview him. Other than big name people, I would love to interview Jamaicans in all of the parishes as well as outside of Jamaica. I would love to interview a cook shop in Trinidad, a clothing line in Japan, a farm in Australia. I would love to find Jamaicans are everywhere. Let's be honest, we are everywhere. So I would love to find Jamaicans in the different pockets of the world and interview you. Go behind your brand. That would be amazing. Yeah. So, last question. Where do you see Behind the Brand in 5 years? Okay, I see Behind the Brand JA being my full-time job. I want to be able to travel the world, interviewing persons all over the world. I would love to do that, and I love to carry my family with me. I'd love to get brand sponsorships from all over the world. I'd love to just see this become just a name in and of itself, Behind the Brand JA. That would be my biggest goal, and I'm so excited to see where it takes us, and I hope you come along for the journey. So thank you so much for watching. This has been amazing. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and thank you for going Behind the Brand JA.